Welcome back. We do have some breaking news to bring you. The GDP dropping 0.6% during the second quarter of 2022. So clearly inflation, which is still at 8.5%, wreaking havoc on the U.S. economy heading to the midterms, which we are 75 days away from now, if you can believe it. So how does Roe versus Wade affect the projected red wave that we've all heard so much about coming in November? There was an interesting item out of the primaries on Tuesday in the 19th district, which could be a preview of things to come in November. For more on that, let's welcome back in former Pennsylvania Senator, Senior Advisor to the Convention of States, and Newsmax contributor Rick Santorum back with us. Senator, great to have you back on. A big article in your home state yesterday. The Philadelphia Inquirer says that women are registering to vote in numbers exceeding men since Roe v. Wade was overturned. And then in New York, in the 19th Congressional District, Democrat Pat Ryan beating Republican Mark Molinaro, who we just had on. What do you make of that? Is that a preview? Is that a bellwether?
It very well could be. This is a really important issue for a lot of people. And the people that voted in the 19th Congressional District in New York, it's a Hudson Valley district. It's a fairly wealthy area. Inflation is not having a huge impact on a lot of those voters because they are wealthier, and therefore, increase in gas prices and groceries prices don't mean as much as they do to people who live paycheck to paycheck. And so you see other issues like climate change and abortion and things like that have more resonance. And so on those types, the problem is that where Republicans have to pick up in order to win the Congress is in districts like that. Right. And so that's why this becomes such an important issue.
As you know, though, primaries, especially off-cycle primaries, where somebody's not running for president, it's so tough to get a read. Molinaro losing by 2 points. It was close, but a lot of people said, nope, this district's going to go back red. Really interesting. Charlie Crist.
Well, I don't know. First off, I don't know about that. I mean, this was a special election. The voter turnout wasn't all that low. I mean, Republicans have to start paying attention. This is not. If you look at the national polls, if you look at a lot of these races, like in my home state of Pennsylvania, if this is a red wave year, the polls are not showing it right now.
So I guess Senator, I guess my point is, and when it comes to your state, a lot of people are saying, boy, Dr. Oz better watch out. We got 75 days to go. I don't think a lot of voters have tuned in yet. John Fetterman is not a good candidate in the state of Pennsylvania. This is a guy
he's not healthy. He's not. I mean, the guy.
He's not healthy. He can't speak. He had a stroke.
He has brain damage. I mean, that's terrible.
He's having difficulty.
But he does.
His own admission. He said, I'm having a real tough time speaking. He's got a lot of issues. Collecting an allowance from his parents, bought a house off his sister for $1. I think Dr. Oz is going to be okay in Pennsylvania once voters start to tune in. Okay, Charlie Crist running against Ron DeSantis in Florida. He has drawn a very clear line in the sand. Here's what Charlie Crist had to say about Joe Biden yesterday. Listen.
What other president could have done what he's done? He's been phenomenal. Gas prices are down. Inflation is trending down. He's a great man. He's a great president. I can't wait for him to get down here. I need his help. I want his help. And he's the best I've ever met. I know this man. He offered me his lunch when he was campaigning for me.
I don't even know what that means, Senator, but can Charlie Crist make a dent in the DeSantis machine down there in Florida?
That is, in a word, pathetic. Gas prices are down.
Right.
Inflation is down. Oh my goodness! What world does Charlie Crist live in? That just tells you. I think that there's not going to be much of a race in Florida. If he wants Joe Biden down there and says that Joe Biden's the best president we've ever had, when his favorability ratings in the around 40%. That just tells you that Charlie Crist is not connected to reality, and Ron DeSantis has less and less to worry about as the days go by.
Senator, you've been in studio here. You never offered me your lunch. There's still time.
Next time.
Yes.
Next time.
Yes.
Has had a huge impact on Charlie, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Senator, great having you on. Always fun. Appreciate it. Rick Santorum, good to see you.
Pleasure.